So I'm not going to let this turn into a moan and a groan, but there's a lot of things going on this year. Speaking to a lot of boaters about this as well, that this is their worst year for locks being damaged, CRT closing navigable routes due to low water. And it's been a bit of a challenge for me as a solo narrowboater and continuous cruiser. It's been a bit of a challenge to... a lot of plans have been scuppered, shall we say. And I think, all I'll say is I think that the easy option for the CRT is to blame climate change and not their own shoddy mismanagement from the upper levels of the trust charity. And I think that climate change is the new COVID, has been for a while actually. They, especially like people like the WHO, WEF, they've had climate change as in the same terms as the COVID, and what they did then was shutting things down. Climate change is the new pandemic, and I think there are a lot of people out there that are jumping on the bandwagon. Reducing emissions, carbon emissions, is definitely something on the agenda with the CRT. You only need to go to boat shows across the country and see how everyone is pushing to use electric as opposed to diesel. And again, reducing carbon is important, it's in their agenda. So thereby, the climate change reasoning that's being thrown around by lots of different companies, it's just a way of ushering in new technology. New technology must be great. If you're into new technology, it must be wonderful. But a lot of people who like tradition, like myself, who aren't buying into all of that, and certainly can't afford that, it's just buzzwords. And I do think climate change is used as an excuse to meet these deadlines, to meet these agendas that are being implemented at the very top. So thereby closing navigational routes, despite the fact that water levels are apparently about as low as they normally are. It's the reservoir levels that are lower. There's always been low water on the Ashby, it's always been a bit of an issue. The Leicester line though is where I'm moored, and they completely shut it off. Well, they will be from the 29th of July, which incidentally is right when the schools have broken up. So are they in one hand being overcautious and closing the entire Leicester line from Watford Locks to Foxton because of low levels, or is it part of the political agenda to reduce carbon emissions and to really punish holiday boaters when they know that's the busiest time of the canal? So you've got to ask yourself, what's happening here? What's going on here? What's the bigger picture? And I do think that to meet these agendas and criterias in the future in this country in reference to climate change and reducing carbon emissions, what better way to reduce the amount of carbon emissions during the summer months when it's that the holiday boats are at the busiest? The worst thing is though the mismanagement of the CRT. There is mismanagement going on. Temporary lock fixes that could be fixed permanently, but they're back every couple of months to do the same job again. There's a lot of issues going on with the canals, like there is across the country, like there is with councils. It's the same thing. You will never escape the bureaucracy of these people in charge. Fact.